Hello. So today, just wanted to be reflective again and talk about the hand of God. Okay, so y'all know my greeting. I'm always like, hello. But again, we've been talking about the hand of God and the Japanese cat and also the Hasma hand, meaning five. These are all different, they derive from all different beliefs, but we know it all comes to one. Psalms 31:15. My times are in thy hand. Deliver me from the hand of mine enemies and from them that persecute me. Psalms 31:15. Isaiah 48:13. My hand laid the foundation of the earth, and my right hand spread out the heavens. When I call to you, when I call to them, they stand forth together. Psalms 89:13. You have a mighty arm, strong is your hand, high your right hand. Isaiah 59:1. Behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened, that it cannot save. Isaiah 40:11. He will gather the lambs with his arm and carry them in his bosom. And so we was talking about we all make up the body of Christ. And so there is just a couple of body parts that are missing that are mentioned. So the mighty arm and the hand. And we did talk about the young lady, the two sisters, and one of the arms got taken off. And we know that that was to let us know that we have a rebellious and we have a kind spirit in us. And they both teach us valuable things. Okay, so back to the Japanese cat. And I'm in a place of business. So that's my state of mind as of right now. And so we was talking about the Japanese cat, the beckoning cat. So a lot of times you see these in the store. So it is believed to bring good luck to the owner. And with the hands, the right hand is for causing fortune, and the left hand is calling people to the business. So they're praying for prosperity. And this doesn't literally have to be a site of business. You could just be standing on your own business, meaning taking care of things with you. So that's a business as well. And we know that these things that we are pulling from different cultures, it's important because you have a culture at home and you also have like a culture at work. So all of these different cultures that you have to learn about, not so much as color, but the environment that's there and the culture that it carries when you go to work or when you go to school or wherever your journey takes you. It's going to have a culture there. I don't want to butcher this, but I'm studying the lotus flower and all of that good stuff. The shamans, indigenous love, all types of culture. So and Buddhism, Judaism, all of that good stuff. So the Hesbahan, Hemsa, we know that it's like this, five. The has my hand, when it's up, protects against evil and negativity. So that's kind of like, hey, stop. And then when it is down, the Hasma hand is facing down. It attracts blessings and abundance and good luck. So yeah, again, that's why my greeting is so important, and that's why I do it with my hand this way. Because I'm learning about culture, and I learned that culture is not just by the color of your skin or your nationality. It can mean as much as the environment or the place of where you're going or headed or your journey is going to carry a culture. So you have to practice being open with cultures and how people operate and how different people are. And I was very big on being reflective and practicing what I preach. So, like my environment of where I may record my videos, I may be in my room, but I don't want that to speak any type of unnecessary volume. It's just a comfortable place. But growing up, my grandmother taught me the Lord's Prayer. And it was right before bed. She would say, repeat after me. And I remembered it. I still remember it to this day. And that's how I remembered the Lord's Prayer. And also, this very bed was gifted to me as my mother purchased her another one. This one was still in good condition, so it was handed to me, as it should be, and as I welcome it. But of course, we didn't do the same box spring and mattress. No, it's just she gifted me the bed, and I accepted it with welcoming hands because it's awesome. And there goes that hand again with welcoming hands. And when I would visit her in her room, she would always have her notebook, her pen, and she would have a book and she would be studying whatever she felt like she needed to be enlightened on. She would have the word or just different exercises for memory. She likes a lot of crossword puzzles and skidoo. And those are the type of things, and those very prayers, moments, and hours, they add up. And those very gifts and exercises, that energy is here at my very resting place, in my space. And so that was just something great, a good tradition of just taking that time out in your resting place, in your area, and just really reflecting and taking the time out to put that work in. It pays off. And I still feel their prayers to this day, where I rest my head. Those very prayers are up there. Those very exercises are up there. And I rest easy on those. So I'm very thankful. But yes, I didn't want to put out the wrong energy or vibration with that, or speak a type of language as though. But that is simply what it is. So right now I am in a vibe. I have my black light on, and this actually glows. And we have the Mother Mary candle over there. And look at my sneakers, my Halloween sneakers, they glow. But yeah, so we're just chilling here, and I'm getting ready to be reflective, and I'm really not in the camera, and we will see why later. So it's important to be reflective and look back on certain things without trying to read my body language or being distracted about how it looks. So I'm trying to really, really hear that inner voice and comprehend what that voice is saying or reflecting in that time and space. So as I be reflective and I sit here and I listen at that inner voice, let's just see how it goes. And this is my first voice note. So you're going to hear the beginner there of not knowing what button to press, probably nervous or whatever the case may be. But yeah. Oh my gosh, I can do a voice note. Okay. I wonder how it's gonna sound when I just, cause baby. Hello? So how do I do it? It's not recording anything yet. So hello, we are doing a voice note. And the purpose for a voice note is to not, in this type of reflective sense, you can't see a face. Only thing you can hear is the inner voice of what was going on in that time and space. So really trying to hear that voice to know and to comprehend the energies that was surrounding me that day, the thought process, and within that thought process, the reaction that was taken and the comprehension of the action that caused the reaction. And within that reaction, if it needs to be re-evaluated, constructed, or a continued reaction towards a solution or a no, a certified no. So that's going to be the reason for these voice notes in a sense of reflection, because once I go back to listen to the voice note, I won't be seeing any type of body language No facial expressions, just really listening. Listening to the tone, listening to what is transpiring, trying to comprehend and evaluate. So yeah, we're going to give this a try. I don't really know how it works, but I know that it's going to be great just because greatness is the approach. So yeah, see how this goes. Hello, so just wanted to be a little bit reflective. And again, I'm doing a voice note. And I'm in the car. And you know, some of the car conversations are like the best conversations to have. Because you're in your vehicle and you're driving. Translated to your drive to wherever the road that you have chosen, your path, that will be then your destiny or either your destination at that time and space. And with that being said, the voice note is more of a, whenever I look at it, I won't be able to see any type of body language. I'll only be able to hear the voice and how it is interpreted what was happening during that time and space. So right now, we have a lot going on, and I don't feel anything. I'm kind of numb. Now, I know that there is a lot that I need to revise, but I really don't know how to feel because I have not comprehended it yet. And it may be a couple of days before I even comprehend it. So I can say it, I can voice the emotions or what I seen at that time, but I will not be able to comprehend it until after I have listened to that inner voice multiple times. And each time I watch a video or I hear a voice recording, every time I hear something different, a different tone, a different pitch, new information. And then I'm able to comprehend. And with that being said, I have been in a space of knowing my no. And with knowing that no has been put to a test on multiple occasions. Now, majority of the time, it can be quite easy for us to be reflective when we're just reflecting about our kids or finances or our workspace. But what about those other areas in life? So, knowing that no can be when you are standing by certain decisions or goals, you have to know that goal and not revert back to old ways of thinking. When you have gained new knowledge and that new knowledge is serving a purpose and it is good, then you need to stick to that no. While the other things that you used to know in this season, in this time and space, they may not serve for that destination. So you would need to eliminate them. Now remember, these things of us, we may eliminate, but they are not gone. They will always be a part of us. But we do have the right to group them and put certain energies in them or to put them to rest for God to revive at a later time, or we can revive them if needed. And what I mean by that is going through the transition of life with the old needs the new and the new needs the old. It could be a old idea or old way of living that we were exercising in that time and space that was working. But when we got moved into another space, maybe that idea needed to be, or that exercise or practice needed to be decreased, and another area of life needed to be increased. But in order to know to increase something, you have to know why that needed to be decreased. That's why I said the old needs the new and the new needs the old. So you can see why it would need to stand, because you can look at the statistics of it. Okay, this old practice is not working in this new space, but this new idea that I have, or this new exercise, and it could be a new exercise that you have learned from a different source, but it works. And as you continue to exercise it and then make it a lifestyle, you will then have made it your own, with the checks and balances of what needs to be done, what needs to be shifted around, what needs to be revived, and what needs to be brought in. Because, your old or your past will let you know who you are and what you are not, and what you're willing to take in, and strictly what you are not willing to take in. But during that transformation, you may go back and forth, because putting forth this new exercise means you're going to have to train that muscle up, and sometimes we can be lazy and revert back to old ways. So that's what space I'm in, is knowing my no. And sometimes in exercising that no, it's just like going to the gym and those muscles get tired and they need to rest. Well, in resting, sometimes we can be like, oh, you know what, just forget it, I'm just whatever. And you may not exercise what you know, but you may revert back to doing something that is just, passive. And that's okay, because we can have those days too, as needed. But it's still going to let us know, you let this slide, and you did not stick to your no, and then there's a consequence for not sticking to that no. And it lets us know within the checks and balances of that time and that space that we cannot do that, because it will only push back the growth or either keep it at a standstill. But like I said, those days are necessary so that we can look back on the progress. And so with knowing this no, I have been tested with certain things, and because I know, and I can get frustrated with the Holy Spirit, and that is my teacher, and my example is Jesus, and the obedience comes from God the Father. So within my Holy Spirit, that's that breath of life, I can get frustrated, and what I take my frustration in as, Jesus is the example. And so I know that, he did it within the obedience of God the Father. So when I have made these decisions to do it, that is a representation. That goes into representation as the cross that I am willing to bear at that time in that space. So this is the dedication that I've put there into certain areas. And I know that if I'm not obedient, that God is going to send the vultures to come and eat my flesh. And what I mean by that is more of him and less of me. So sometimes within your commitments that you have placed on your cross, that faith will then be tested. And you will see these vultures, oh my goodness, and they just be coming to eat and eat and eat. And you be like, God, I know good and well you didn't send them over here. But it takes a process. So once they have picked at all of that flesh, and it's a helper, because what it does is they pick up They pick apart that flesh, and I mean, they be picking at it and picking at it and picking at it and picking at it and picking at it to where all the flesh has gone and you have been stripped down to the bone. But once you have allowed that flesh to go and you got the bone, you then know that you did exactly what needs to be done, because then the vulture won't have anything to pick at. That flesh desire will no longer be there. And that's why I do love the Skeletor and the skull, because the skull is represented as the head. And the uniqueness of the skull is, in the spiritual realm, when we say that we want more of God and less of us, when we look at a skull, that lets us know that whatever we have committed to, which will be represented as the cross that we are willing to carry and bear within that commitment, once we have been placed there and the vultures have picked apart all of that flesh and it is down to the skull, we know that those flesh desires are gone. But it's just difficult going through it because you studied it. God has given you the answers. You know you are exactly where you need to be. But it's just those vultures that come to pick apart that skin. And you're looking at them because, God has created you to be this beautiful dove. And you're bearing your cross, and then you see the vultures come, and you're like, oh, no, but it's a process. And so learning that process, it can be pretty tough, but it's a commitment, and he will never put more on you than you can bear. And we have to learn how to separate ourselves and know that we are just a witness. God has already paid the price, and it will not cost us anything to be a witness and to be still and know and watch this thing, watch him transform us and go through the transition of what he will have us to be. So yeah, I just wanted to be reflective about that. And yeah, so that was my reflective moment. And I'm grateful for it. Riding in the car, and it was a good car talk. And I'm grateful for it. Give yourself your flowers. All right, so that was my reflective time, and it sounded pretty good. But again, I am going to continue to listen at that inner voice, see what it was feeling, comprehend it, and then just go from there. But my experience with the voice note, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. And I just feel good about it. And I feel like people should take the time out to, practice the things that are helpful. I'm not going to say practice things that make you feel good, because we know that's not what it's always about. We are supposed to be inconvenienced and uncomfortable. That's how we know we're growing. So yeah, that was fun. And I'm just chilling, meditating. Gonna listen to it again and breathe, inhale, exhale. Keep that relaxing posture. Find something to kind of focus on. Like I said, I got art in my room, candle therapy, and my shoes are over there glowing, so that light kind of directs me over there a little bit. Just very thankful of my surroundings right now, my headspace, my vocal, my awareness. Well, it's been 30 minutes, and those 30 minutes will add up to a great hour. Remember to give yourself your flowers.